So Donald Trump, and you know, he has a contentious relationship with the media, and he said when he becomes president, he's going to open up libel laws. So when people say purposefully negative and horrible and false things in articles, we can sue them and we can win lots and lots of money.
So we're gonna back this up just a minute. He's talking about the New York Times and the Washington Post. And he says, and he's going to open up libel laws, which means when these newspapers publish things that he considered to be false or hurtful or
negative, negative, which is going to cover a lot of news,
that he thinks that we should open up the law so that people like Donald Trump can sue these newspapers. It's fascinating stuff because back in the 60s, there was a case,
a famous Supreme Court case.
Me, I promise I'll make it quick and stick with me. Famous Supreme Court case, New York Times v. Sullivan, and what it said was, if a media organization reports on a famous person,
a public figure, someone who everyone knows,
like Donald Trump, and if they get something wrong, you can't sue them. Or if they are negligent, you can't sue them. You can only sue them if they purposefully know that it's wrong and they say it with the intent to hurt you. It's called malice.
Or if they turn a total blind eye and are recklessly just disregarding, putting their head in the sand and not looking at any.
So Donald Trump says no more. I think that public figures should be able to sue media organizations willy-nilly,
saying we're just like regular people,
if they say anything that's false, regardless of whether they had malice or they just got it wrong. It's an amazing
a non-public figure can be. If you cover a non-public figure, you don't need to be maliciously doing so.
If you accidentally report that the neighbor down the street is a child molester
and ruin his life,
he could sue you. But if you negligently do that about a famous person,
Jared
that person
Fogle.
cannot. Jared Fogle. Even if we're wrong about Jared Fogle and he didn't do this, you cannot be sued. The idea being that a famous person has sort of a soapbox they can stand on and clear their own name.
That's right.
It's an incredible statement by a man running for president and who's the favorite to win the Republican Party nomination, because it would throw media on its head. It would turn media on its head because media, we're among them, relies upon the fact that we need to publish things. The public has a right to know what happens with famous people, especially people running for president. And if we happen to get it wrong, which all media organizations do, and the New York Times among most.
This happens in a fast-paced news environment.
And the New York Times is held to account more than anybody for getting stuff wrong from time to time, even though it is the paper of record and is the best publication in the world, if you ask me. But they do get things wrong once in a while. He says we should be able to sue them. And the question is, does it chill the ability of news organizations to speak at all about this? So
this would be a big issue. And look, he's also talking about presidents don't legislate. They are executives. They enforce laws as a general matter. Now, he could push for new legislation, but this would disrupt a very old precedent in the Supreme Court, which is a co-equal branch of government, and has had this standard for years. It's how news organizations have operated. This is a breathtaking statement to go after the First Amendment.
And I want to give Trump some credit here. You know, he's been out there, he's been saying some controversial things, and this is the way he has run his campaign, and he deserves a lot of credit for building up a campaign that I frankly was dubious about at the beginning. Derek will tell you that I've been wrong about Trump. I thought he would fade very, very quickly.
We had a little ticker in his office that shows
that I'm doing something really, I guessed wrong on this. But at the same time, he's also shown himself to be somewhat thin-skinned.
It's odd for someone who courts that much controversy to then not be able to sort of take it in kind.
And what he's saying now is, be careful, if you write negative things about me, I'm going to be able to sue you. And that sort of goes to the thin-skinnedness.
Well, this is a man who has dished out his fair share of insults and comments about Marco Rubio having maybe a sweating condition, some sort of problem. I mean, you gotta wonder why he dishes it out with such zeal.
But Dana says it would make the media not bramble to make up lies. Yeah, I guess that's Trump's point. He says
bramble.
He says the media just makes stuff up and they should be held accountable, and that's a point. But we have to consider what that would do upon the media's desire to publish truthful things.
Exactly.
If you're 99% sure about something Donald Trump has done or any politician has done, should you not print that?
And it may make you gun-shy.
If you happen to be wrong at 1%, you're going to be sued for it. Boy, that really does chill the media's ability to say negative things about people.
And it would be disastrous.
Yeah.